today we are looking for Venom the Last Dance filming locations. And to do that, we need to get all the way to the base of the Eiffel Tower. Here's a look at the observatory inside of the Bellagio. If you did not know, there are 3 movies in the Venom trilogy. The first being the origin story. The second, Venom Let There Be Carnage, where he faces another symbiote, I think is what they call them. And then the third being Venom the Last Dance. And in The Last Dance, they're being chased by not only aliens from space, but also by the federal government. So they hitch a ride with a alien enthused hippie family, and they are on the way to Area 51, and they drop Venom off here in Las Vegas. We're coming up on the first scene when Eddie and Venom get into town, and they pull up in a Volkswagen bus and they stop right here. So in the first picture you can kind of see him pulling around the pole for the stoplight, and then he pulls over and parks right here, and Eddie gets out. In the picture you can see that Aria billboard sign right there. It doesn't translate very well to the camera right now because it's daylight, but that cone right next to Planet Hollywood, where you can see Chris Angel Mind Freak on the billboard, that thing has red LEDs at night, so you can see that in the scene. And then of course this meter right here shows up in the background as well. So I'm gonna turn you guys around again. We're gonna walk back across the street, and so Eddie gets out of the van right here, walks across, and we see him on the sidewalk right here. So in the scenes you can see these bollards here, and then just off to the right a little bit you've got this little metal barricade right here. So this is in the scene as well. This is when Eddie and Venom first get to town. In this scene you see Eddie and Venom trying to make their way into the casino, and Eddie's walking right along this white strip here, and in the background you can kind of see the entrance to the casino. This is the valet drop-off zone. And then a little further back, we're just a little further back, this is the taxi line, and I just wanted to show this because you can see these stanchions here behind Eddie as he's walking by. So this is an interesting shot here. You see Eddie walking up, and that's the taxi lane stop that I just showed you a few minutes ago. But Eddie walks up to the casino entrance that's right here. And as you can see, it's much different than what it was in the film. So I do believe that they had built this out to make it look like an entrance. In this scene, there's the turnstile doors, and you see Eddie walk in one of the turnstile doors and then just walks right back outside to the other. There's security waiting on the other side of the door, and didn't seem to like what Eddie was wearing, so he tossed him out. That's the first time that we see Venom in the film, well, here in Vegas at least. So Venom kind of pops out just a little bit and says, "Would you like a hand?" Eddie says yes. So Eddie's head turns into Venom's head, and Venom headbutts him and knocks him out. So Venom decides that they need a disguise. So right behind me, they see a guy in a nice suit. Seems a little bit, maybe had a few too many cocktails. We'll head over there now. So here's the scene here. You can see the gentleman in the suit relieving himself on the corner there. Looks a little bit different. There's no plants or trees in the area, but Eddie walks up to him and the guy turns around all happy like, and he's still relieving himself and kind of lets it go on Eddie's feet. In the scene you can see Eddie's wearing some sandals that were given to him by the hippies, and you can hear Venom in the background saying, "Ooh, warm." And then Venom shows himself once more, just in the shape of Eddie's hand. It turns into Venom's hand, and he slaps the guy, and the guy goes sliding from that corner there all the way across the way. And so Eddie continues to drag him off so he's out of sight, takes his suit, and then the next time you see Eddie is right here in the center. There's a manhole right there, and he's standing there looking all dapper, ready to go. Here's a better look at that casino entrance. Then here's what I thought was a manhole, but it's some kind of a crest. We're standing right where Tom Hardy and Venom and Eddie Brock all once stood. I had to Google this archway, and it says the archway at the Paris Las Vegas Hotel is a half-scale replica of the world-famous Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France. The original arc in France was commissioned by Napoleon in 1806 to honor those who fought and died in the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. So I don't think there's any better way to honor them than with a billboard of Martha Stewart and Miss Vanderpump. You never know what you're going to see in Vegas, but that family seemed to have brought their birds along for vacation. Stopped right here because this is the entrance that's closest to the Strip, and it kind of resembles the entrance to the casino that I told you guys was built out. It's kind of a facade. It's got the same lettering and the same, I guess that's a seashell. Interesting. So Venom and Eddie were right here playing this slot machine. It's actually not this slot machine. It was a little bit different. It was the Wheel of Fortune. You can see right here in this photo. And in the far background, Mrs. Chen, who you might recognize from the original Venom. She was the grocery store owner that Venom and Eddie helped out at one time during a robbery. And then she also got to experience being with Venom. Venom and Mrs. Chen were at one at one time. I don't know really how to explain that, but Mrs. Chen was all the way down here at the end. You can see that Le Cabaret sign in the background. She would have been playing, I think, this Wheel of Fortune machine here. Probably not the same machine, but in the background you can kind of see the trees and the bar here. So in the film, Mrs. Chen's a big winner, right? So she has a suite at the very top of the Paris. And what's really interesting is that there is no suite at the top of the Paris. Well, at least not that suite, because the suite that they show, the Paris is right in front of us. The blue outline is the top of the building, and then on top of that would have been the suite that Mrs. Chen stayed in. So Mrs. Chen invites Venom and Eddie back up to her room, and for some reason Mrs. Chen and Eddie have some sort of a dance-off. Not sure what that's about, but Venom gets a little carried away and goes full Venom. And when he goes full Venom, there's this thing inside of Eddie and Venom that they share that's called a codex. And I can't tell you exactly what that is, because that would spoil the second movie for you. So what that codex does is allows the creator of the symbiotes, and Venom is a symbiote, to track where Venom is. And so he sends his army of aliens after Venom. And so it's here during this dance-off, right up there in that invisible suite, that Venom shows his codex. And so what you see is that alien, the first of many, come running across from that direction, runs right across the water here. The water's on, jumps, and then he ends up way up there on top of the Eiffel Tower, not in France, but in Las Vegas. You get to see a nice shot of that alien poached up there on top of the tower, looking down into the suite with Venom and Eddie and Mrs. Chen. So he jumps down from the tower into the suite. There's another battle that takes place and ends with the US government flying in with a helicopter, dropping down into the suite, securing Venom, taking him into the helicopter, and off somewhere north to Area 51. And that is the last Las Vegas scene in the movie. I was standing here waiting for the fountains to go off, and they announced because of high winds the fountains would not be performing today. So that's kind of a bummer. During the shot where the alien runs across the water, the fountains are on. So not gonna get to line up the shot today, but you get the point. All right guys, it is hot, it is windy, I need to find some water. We had a great time today. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. One more construction update before we go. That's the new A Stadium. Starting to really show itself.